Hello everybody and welcome back to another day of Blue Jay Acres. Sorry, I know the kitchen's a mess. This is later in the day. I've already filmed a ton for you guys today, but I just now got around to getting cleaned up before school started. So here is a look at what we are doing if you're new. First of all, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Noelle. We are a large family of 10 with 6 currently at home right now. 2 girls just left for college over the weekend, and the other 2 are grown and moved out. And we are sharing with you how we are feeding our large family on a tight budget of $500 a month. We're showing every day what we're eating and how we're making that happen. I do plan on shopping weekly, but I did spend all of our money at the beginning of this month stocking up on a few things. So this month has all about getting creative and using what I have. But there will be weekly shopping hauls starting next month. Okay, so jumping the gun there for a minute. Now, here is a look at what we had today for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I did a lot, so I'm gonna just jump right into it and I'll see you guys at the end. All right guys, so today's gonna be a lot of cooking. We're not going to therapy because they got a lot of snow by therapy. So we have the afternoon a little bit more free until his teacher arrives. So breakfast, we are just finishing off these little muffins. They've had pancakes that were still in the fridge, and Theo, I made him up a little smoothie. So everybody else is just gonna eat these muffins. All right, so for lunch today, it is 11:10, and I am gonna put on some soup beans. So I'm just kind of looking for rocks or anything. And we're gonna do soup beans and cornbread for lunch because I didn't have any leftovers from last night. But I did have these pork neck bones. I don't even remember when I got them. I didn't even remember they were in there. So I'm gonna use probably this big one here and put that in to cook with it. But first I'm going to rinse these really good and fill this with water. All right, so I'm gonna put this on to boil. I've shown how I make these before. I'm gonna add one of these pork neck bones, and one of these smaller ones. So how I make it is I bring this up to a boil. I'm gonna let it cook down. I'm gonna add more water, let it cook down, add more water, let it cook down, usually about 3 times. I also wanna add some salt to this. Actually, I'm not. I'll add salt to it later because I don't know how salty these pork neck bones are. I normally use salt pork, but I must not have been able to get that and needed it for something and got these neck bones because I'm not even sure when I got them. But I'm gonna let this cook and it'll take a few hours. All right, so for later today, I got out, this is a watermelon from our garden, and I had froze it. I'd read that you could freeze them just fine, so we'll see how that turns out. I've set this out to defrost. I also got out some of the corn that we grew in our garden, and I've got that out to defrost. And I had 3 chicken breasts left from yesterday. So I'm gonna cut them so that they're thinner, and we're gonna make fried chicken tonight. So I'm gonna soak them in some spices and some buttermilk. So I'm gonna use this to do the chicken today. I'm gonna use this to make the cornbread today. I'm gonna use this to make the biscuits today. So this is coming in handy, and I have never, like I said, used it before until now, and it's been in my thing forever, my pantry forever. So if I like it, then I will replace this and keep it in my pantry again for just such an occasion. The first thing that I want to do is I just want to kind of cut these in half like this, just so that they're thinner. I think they're easier to fry that way. And honestly, I think I'm gonna cut them like this. So we've just got pieces that we're gonna do that'll be fried. And then I'm gonna put these back in the bowl because I'm gonna let everything soak in that bowl until dinner tonight. And it is 11:15, so. Okay, so to make the buttermilk, I had to do 8 tablespoons of the buttermilk powder and 2 cups of water, because I need 2 cups of buttermilk. So I'm just going to mix this up. The recipe that I am following says to add mustard seed to this, ground mustard to this mix that we're going to make. And it also says to use garlic powder. Well, we know I'm out of garlic powder and don't have mustard powder, which needs to go on my list. It's not something I use very often. So I'm just going to add a little mustard to the buttermilk and a little bit of minced garlic to the buttermilk. Then for the spices, we're going to add some pepper. Make a little spice rub here with some pepper, salt, paprika. I'm using smoked paprika. I don't know why I even put the lid on it. And some sage. This is from my garden. I got some in the buttermilk. I'll have to get that out. Okay, I'm just going to kind of stir this up, mix it up. I'm going to get that little bit of sage out of there. All right. I'll just be extra thick buttermilk. All right, now I'm just going to add these spices all over here to my chicken. If you guys can see this. And just kind of rub it into the chicken. Okay, and then this gets poured over top, which is why it didn't matter that the spices are mixed in with it, because it's all just gonna mesh in here anyway. And I'm just kind of trying to really push it all in there. This is gonna sit, it says at least an hour, but the longer the better. So like I said, it's now 11:21. So I'm gonna let this sit until, well, it'll probably be about 5:30, 6 o'clock before this is ready. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge and just let it sit until I'm ready. Okay, so while I've got this stuff out, I'm gonna go on and make probably 3 cups of this buttermilk. That way I've got it for the biscuits and I've got it for the cornbread. So let's see how many I go. 1. That's like just enough to make 3 cups. So folks, we did it. We went through this whole container. I'm very happy about that. It did not go to waste. I used it. And if I hadn't run out of milk and hadn't run out of everything, I wouldn't be down in my pantry going through this stuff. And it would have, I'm sure, finally expired and got wasteful. So I'm going to add 3 cups of water to this. So pretty much I just filled 1 mason jar full. So I will just put this in the fridge so that I have it when I need it. Hopefully that'll help all these little chunks that are up here at the top. Hopefully that'll help all that just kind of mix in and make it smoother by the time I go to use it. If not, I can always put it in a blender, because for the biscuits and the cornbread, you don't want just chunks of, you know, powder. I don't think it'll matter in the marinade at all, but it'll matter in the biscuits and cornbread. So I'm getting as much done this morning kind of as I can. A lot of kind of prepping my day food-wise, because there's a lot I need to get done today food-wise. Alright, I'm gonna put this in the fridge so it is ready to go. Alright, so quick look in the fridge because I haven't done that in a little bit. What do we got going on up here? That's the buttermilk we just made, and you can tell a difference because it's a little bit yellow. This is the tiny bit of the evaporated milk mixed with water that we have left, and that's all I have. That's empty. I mean, I have more. It's a little bit of like coconut milk. You can definitely tell a difference with that. It's very thick. Tiny bit of orange juice left from the other day. Still have some cranberry juice back here. And this, I had a strawberry lemonade mix, so I made that. Let's see here. This is my eggs. Let's see, I have not too many left. All the eggs now, I need to fill my orders for this weekend, so I have to wait for any more eggs for me until I've got my orders filled. Our cheese bucket, we got very little going on here. Still a little bit of feta, a little bit of those Mexican cheeses. I've got some cream cheese here, and we've got some pepperoni. Here, we still have one pancake in the fridge from making them yesterday because the boys like those. I got one of the ricotta cheese because we did not use all of it. I have cottage cheese back here. Sorry, camera wasn't up. There is a drop of the shells still. Somebody will eat on that. This is the chicken marinating that we had. I got out some pork chops to defrost in here. There is 2 packs of ghee back there. Let's see, and down here I got a turkey out, and there's those pork neck bones. Now these turkeys, if you guys recall, I got those really, really cheap around the holidays. I paid $8.53 for this big old turkey. I got them for 55 cents a pound. So I want to use that. I've still got one more after that. Then in here, these are eggs that are already sold. Down here, Ash left one of her, or Brooke left one of her clementines for Theo, so it is in here for whenever he wants it. I got carrots, and I have this cabbage. Now with this cabbage, I'm going to pull some of it because I'm going to make a coleslaw to go with tonight. And we still have a lot of carrots, so we'll do some carrots probably tomorrow. Bottom drawer is empty. So that's a look at what's going on now in the fridge. Oh, and I forgot to show the butter side. So I'm still doing good on butter. I have quite a bit. I mean, I'll go through all of that probably. That much butter easily before the week's out. I'd say easily. But in my freezer here, I have 2 frozen orange juice left, and I've got 5 packs of butter in here. And these are just little ginger cubes. And then as you look through my freezer, you can see everything's going at us. I still got plenty of fruits and vegetables to get through. That is some of Luke's pizza. Somebody asked, does Luke still eat pizza all the time? Yes, he does. He eats pizza from Little Caesars. Only cheese pizza. It is one of his staples, and that we just set aside money every month. We know what we're getting and what we have to spend on that. So whatever the boys need, they're little, they're growing, we get whatever they need. And Luke is autistic and he only eats certain foods, and I'm not about to not get it. Just same as the chicken tenders. I got these almost a month ago, and there's still enough in there. Theo is the only one that eats those, and there's still enough in there for him. So freezer's definitely looking way more empty. And of course a lot of snowballs. The soup is boiling here like crazy. The soup beans. So while I'm at it, I'll show you what's going on out here. Out here, this cooler or freezer is getting way more empty, which is wonderful. I still have a lot of homegrown stuff to get through in here. You know, I grew a bunch of these green chilies, but they don't taste like green chilies you get like in the can that you use to cook with. That's why I have multiple bags of them, because I haven't figured out really what to do with them. So any of you that work with fresh green chilies and know how to make them taste good, let me know, because I'm not a huge fan, and I don't know that I'd grow them again. I have lots of jalapenos now. I love those. And we're getting there. I thought about making some jam with some of these strawberries and different things. We'll see, but that's definitely gotten a lot less. And the meat freezer. So here's what we got. I got hams. I got a lot of ham. These are 2 big hams from when we got our pig in August. We have not used those yet. I've got a spiral cut ham here. When I got such a good deal, I got them for, I don't remember. I got a really good deal on them. I have to look and see. Sorry, I had to turn it so I can see. I got it for $10.29. This is from the pig that we had gotten. This is some different stew meat. I got that for $2.34. Just different deals that I got. I got this one for $11.19. It's another big roast. This is one that I got for $9.76. This is from the pig that we bought in August. These two, if you guys recall, I got these really cheap. I got it for $12.36. And then the bottom 2 are from the butcher. And then down here, I have some of that pork that I made the other day. I froze that. I have 2 of these smoked sausages. I have another pack of chicken that we had gotten on sale for $10 for a big pack. I have 2 chickens here. Down here, I did find 1 more pound of bacon. I still have some Canadian bacon. I have 1 roll of sausage left. I have this London broil roast. These little chicken winglets. And this chicken that I bought at the beginning of the month and I shared with you guys. Down here I have a turkey breast and another whole turkey. You look over here, empty. I just have that little thing of Smokies, thing of beefless crumbles, and there's 1 of Ash's little sausage biscuits. Have a little bit of seafood, a lot of tofu, and then my nuts and yeast. Okay, so next I'm making a very, very basic coleslaw. I know I could add some of the carrots and stuff to it, but it's just to go with the fried chicken, so I'm not doing any of that. I'm just doing cabbage, keeping it super, super simple. And just making a small amount. Then I think with some of the pork neck bones, I might try to make some kind of fried cabbage kind of thing tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not really sure what all to do with them besides use them in like beans and stuff like that. Also, a question that I've been asked is, what do I do with like the cranberries when I make cranberry juice and the different stuff? All of that goes to our chickens. Unless it's like onions or potatoes, it either gets composted or it goes to our chickens. Pretty much everything. So I'm just gonna put that in here. Just dressing to go on it real quick. I'm just going to use some mayonnaise, a little bit more. To that, I'm going to add some sugar. I don't really measure anything when it comes to this. Just a little bit of vinegar. I'm using rice vinegar because this one's almost done. Just trying to use up things that are already open. And a little bit of salt. And some pepper. And then I'll just mix this up and put this on my coleslaw. Stir this up, and then this will be ready to go tonight for dinner as well. Okay, next I need to start our bread because we do not have any. I've shown this, I know, many times. I got 2 cups of warm water, about a tablespoon of sugar. You could also do honey if you wanted. There's 2 tablespoons of yeast, giving it a quick stir. We're going to set that and let it foam for about 5 minutes. Alright, now it's time to finish up this. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, about 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and then I'm just going to add flour. About 4 to 5 cups is what you're going to want to add. Just add the rest of the spoon. I think that's the end of my bread flour. I might have one more bag down there, I'm not sure. Alright, while the bread is finishing, you can see here, this is really cooked down. It's time to add our first time adding water, and we'll do it once or twice more.
The fence isn't really charged because the wind blew the net.
Okay, now I'm just going to let this come back to a boil and boil that down again. This, as it continues to do that, it will just get thicker and thicker and better and better. Okay, so while that's still going, the next thing I'm going to prep, I know it gets so loud, is I have a bunch of frozen blackberries here. I actually bought all of these with you guys. I got them for $1 a container. I was going to make jam, but I decided tonight I am going to make some cobbler to go with dinner. So I'm just going to put some sugar in here with these. It is for cobbler, so I want a lot of sugar. And I'm going to let that just sit and in the sugar, and it will turn into sugary berries that I can use in the cobbler. Alright, so it has been about 5 to 10 minutes. So I am just going to move that around a little bit, and I'm going to cover this and let it rise until it doubles. It takes about an hour, hour and a half, depending on the temperature in your house. Okay, so you can see this is all boiling again. Over here the bread's covered. And also, real quick, I've gotten questions about where did the girls get me this. Ash picked it up at Cracker Barrel, and they got me a couple other things from there. They have the cute little rooster set going on. Okay, it is 1 o'clock and I need to give this some more water. I also did try the broth, and it definitely needs some salt. So I'm going to salt it pretty good. Alright, we'll let this start to boil and cook down again, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to go on and start this cornbread. So I'm going to spray down my dish I'm going to put it in. Preheated my oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to add 1 cup of cornmeal. This is a ½ cup measure. I'm going to add 1 cup of flour. I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add 3 teaspoons of baking powder. About 1/8 cup of sugar. Then I'm just going to stir this up, and then I'm going to start adding our wet ingredients in. For our wet ingredients, I've got 2 eggs. A 1/4 cup of melted butter. And a cup of that milk that we made, buttermilk. I'm just gonna stir this up. and then I'm just gonna pour it into my dish and I'm gonna bake it. 350 degrees until it's done. I would say I'm checking in about 15 minutes. Alright, I'll pop this in the oven. Alright, so here is the cornbread is done. Now we're just still waiting on the soup beans. It's 1:40. This just takes so long to do. I think I'll just let it cook down this time until it's thick. Okay, and now our bread dough is also ready. So I'm going to punch that down. And then I'm going to divide it up into 2 loaf pans. Here. I'm just going to spray my 2 loaves down. Not too much. And then I'm going to cover and let the eggs rise. Okay, so now this is cooked way down and it is looking amazing. And this is what my grandmother has always done, so this is what I do. Add some baking soda to release some of the gas from the beans. So that's what I do. And it is 2:18. These beans are finally done. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to let that just kind of cool down a little bit. Push that back there. And then we'll serve up our beans. Alright, and now this bread is done. So before I serve the beans, I'm going to go on and put just some egg. This is just 1 beaten egg. I'm just going to get that on the top. I got the oven at 350 degrees. And then I'm going to bake up this bread. Alright, I'm going to put this in the oven. Okay, and now for the beans. Just need some butter in there. That'll get all nice and melty. And here is the cornbread, and that just goes in there as well. That is it. This is soup beans and cornbread, how I grew up eating it. Delicious. We're gonna go eat lunch. Alright, so here is the bread. And then still quite a bit of cornbread. So I don't think I'm gonna make biscuits today. I think I'll make those tomorrow. And I think we're just gonna eat this with the fried chicken tonight. We also will use this for sandwich bread for the next few days, but yeah, I think that's all I'm going to make bread-wise today. Okay, it is 5:30. I'm going to start with the cobbler as far as dinner tonight. So I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees and let that melt while we make up the batter. Okay, so for the batter, we need 1 cup of flour, a dash of salt, a teaspoon of baking powder, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 cup of milk. This is where I got a little bit crazy and I mixed the little bit of evaporated milk that I showed you earlier and a little bit of coconut milk. I mixed that all up together. So hopefully that's going to turn out good. We're just gonna stir that up. I might need to add a little bit more milk. No, I think that looks about right. So while we're waiting on the butter to finish, I wanted to show you guys the frozen watermelon. So I even looked it up before I did it. Said you could do it. Pretty much all the moisture from the watermelon is leaving. So I think what I'm gonna do is put it in the fridge and tomorrow get some of the seeds out, and I'll make like a watermelon slush kind of drink, and just get the seeds out like that and put this in the blender. So we're not wasting it, but I would not freeze the watermelon again. Okay, so the butter is melted. Next, I'm just gonna add the batter on top of the butter. Then on top of that, I'm gonna add the berries. So here are the berries that we were soaking in some sugar earlier. I'm gonna just add that on top. All right, and then this is going back in the oven to bake for about 45 minutes. While that's baking, I'm also gonna go on and bake the corn. I decided to try the baked corn this time instead of just having it boiled. To this, I'm just gonna add a couple pats of butter. So it's just in the butter. Okay. I'm gonna add salt. And a little parsley. And I'm gonna pop this. I'm gonna pop this in the oven as well. Okay, so I'm gonna start by heating some oil over here on medium heat because I don't want it to get too hot. And now we're gonna make up our flour mixture to dip our chicken in. So here we're gonna do 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of paprika, about 1.5 teaspoons of dried basil, about 1.5 teaspoons of dried thyme. Oh, that sticks in there. Okay, about 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder. And then a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I probably did more like 3/4 teaspoon. And then we're gonna stir all this up. You would add garlic powder too if you had it. I don't have any. This is what we're gonna dip our chicken in before frying it. All right, and then what I'm gonna do is I've got the chicken here. I'm gonna take this chicken that's been soaking in this mixture and I'm gonna dip it in this flour mixture, toss it a couple times, get it good and floury, and then I'm gonna just drop it in the oil. I'm only gonna do about 3 pieces at a time. All right, so here is tonight's dinner. The corn, the cobbler, still have some of the cornbread, coleslaw, regular bread, and the fried chicken. And I will get Charles to get you a taste, and then we are ready to dig in. All right, so he's gonna taste test the chicken and the corn.
Ooh, I get to taste it. Ooh.
But the corn just came out of the oven. It's very hot. He already ate on the cornbread, said it's wonderful. He won't touch coleslaw. He's pretty much gonna eat corn and chicken.
You need to be civil.
You're gonna cut your fried chicken? Everybody picks that up with their hands now.
Not everybody gets it when it's fresh and hot, so.
Oh, the chicken should be fine.
Those are good.
The corn, though, is very hot. Ron, the dog needs let in, please.
I need a bigger taste test, please. That's really good.
I thought it turned out really good. Now the corn is crazy hot. That you actually need your fork for.
How am I going to eat that with a fork?
I don't know, but it's crazy hot. What do you think? I baked it this time.
It's got a crazy good amount of flavor in it.
Like it?
Mm-hmm. One more bite.
And then you got to try the cobbler.
I do.
Yeah, someone make you. I know this. I should go open a can of green beans. I'm gonna do that, you guys, too. I'm gonna open a can of green beans. I just feel like we don't have any greens.
You have corn.
I'm gonna go open a can of green beans to go.
Comes in a green
salad.
husk when you get it.
Okay, now he's gonna try the cobbler, but it is really like boiling hot. I don't know if they can see all that steam coming off or not, but it is boiling hot. It takes so long to give a taste.
Oh, I am letting it savor. That is good.
Well, there you have it, folks.
And yes, it is still very hot.
We have no more ice cream, or ice cream would go with that as well. All right, we are gonna go eat. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Give a big thumbs up if you have. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another full day of meals and what we're eating and how I'm feeding my family on $500 a month. Bye everybody, have a great day or night, wherever you are.